Okay, hello students. I failed to share this since we are having a fall break. So please make sure you finish this lesson number uh, homework, homework P6. Okay. I'll go straight away to solving this problem. So let's say if this is the case, so what is the first thing you can do is how do you find the real solutions? Okay. Now clearly see there are 3x plus 4, 8 is multiplied itself 3 times, and this one is 4 times. So this is the greatest. So you find the greatest common factor will be 3x plus 8, and I'm going to write the exponent 3, and what stays is because there are this itself is 3x plus 8, and again 3x plus 8. So 3 times and 1 time. So this is taken off. So what's remaining is only 3x plus 8. And since we have pulled out this, so what stays is only 1 equals to 0. So, so that means this part will be 3x plus, that will be 3x plus 7. And the first one is 3x plus. Uh, when can we use the zero product property and say, okay, either the first one is 3x plus 8 raised to the power 3 is 0, or the second one, right? 3x plus 7 equals 0. And then you solve for x. So here, so when can this whole thing become 0? Only when the parenthesis, this part has to be 3x plus 8. That's only then this could be 0. So subtracting 8, or you can do directly also. You do this and you can see you can get this and divide by 3. And we don't need this step. We could write directly from here and say, okay, x is opposite of plus 8 is minus 8. And opposite of multiplication is this multiplication is division. So you get the first answer done. And in the second case, you can say x is opposite of plus 7 is minus 7, and multiply 3 becomes 3, and you are done. So this is the answer. Let's do the second. This we can factorize here. This is the second question. We can factorize by grouping. So this two and this two, and clearly there's x square, which is common factor, greatest common factor. So of this three, one of the x will remain, and this whole thing is there's the two, the red two will remain here. And in this case, the 5 divide, but because there's a minus 5, I'm going to put minus 5, and then x minus 5 because the minus and minus, sorry, 2. Minus and minus become plus, right? So that's why you have to change this plus sign to minus sign. So this becomes 0. And then you see the x plus 2 is the times both the terms. So you pull out x minus 2 using the undo distributive property. So what stays is this x square will remain right here, and you get this answer, right? So now, what is this basically means? Either the first one is 0 or the second factor is 0. The first one, you know, x is equals 2, but here you'll have to add plus 5, and you get x squared equals 5, and you x becomes equals plus minus square root of 5. So the two answers are square root of 5, square root of plus 5, and this 2 here. So these are the three answers you need to put in your homework. Okay. The third question is, okay, whenever we want to solve this kind of expression, when you have a denominator, the first thing I want to see, what is the denominator for the first one is 1, and the second one is z plus 1. Okay, so this equals 3. So what do we have to get away with this z plus 1, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply z plus 1 right here, and you multiply z plus 1 right here also, and you multiply z plus 1. So that way we can cross out this z plus 1 goes away and use the distributive property here. Z times z is z square plus z, And here you use distributive property again, 3z and plus 3. Get everything on the left side. So the only way is you subtract 3z and subtract 3. And I'll write just below this minus 3z and minus 3. So when you do that, so this goes away and you get z squared, this minus 3z, and this plus z will be minus 2z. And there's a minus 3. I think I missed this plus 4 is I missed, so that plus 4 has to be written down here, plus 4. So this plus 4 and this minus 3 will be plus 1. And clearly this 1 can be split as 1 times 1. So all you can write is z squared minus 2z plus 1 square. And one way to do is directly you could write also from here. You say, hey, 1 times 1 is 1. And z you put here, and because there is a minus 2, so you can put minus 1 and minus 1. So this is one way to do, or you can think it like a perfect trinomial because this is 1 square, and z times 1 is z, and z times 1 is z, and the double of, if you double it, it becomes 2z, and the 2z is right there. So clearly, you can directly write this as z minus 1 the whole square equal to z. That means z minus 1 has to be 0. So z is equal to 1 and you're done. So one is to use your regular factorization method, or sometimes they are very uh, kind of trivial that it is a perfect trinomial and you can directly write from this step to this step. Now this is question number 4. Now, question number 4, there is a denominator right here, both. So we have to multiply, and they are all different. So you have to multiply everywhere. Or I'll do a shortcut trick here. It's like this: A over B plus C over D. We can always write this two and this cross multiply AD plus BC and then BD down that way. So it means this x plus 1 you multiply to here, and this multiply here, and you multiply this too. So that means you get x plus 1. So, and then again, x minus 2. And at the bottom, you just multiply those two things, right? So x minus 2 and x plus 1. And on the left side or right side will be 5 by 4. All you do next is you try to simplify. This becomes 2x, and 1 minus 2 will be minus 1. And the down, you'll have to use FOIL method. So this 2x square, okay, and minus 2, and this will be minus 2. And then you use the inside and outside. This will be minus 2x, and this will be x. So if you try to do minus 2x and plus x, that will be minus x. So this will be minus x right here, and 5 over 4. Then again, you can use the same trick. If you have a over b, c over d, you can just multiply this way. It is AD is BC. So all you do is multiply this 4 to this one. So directly you can multiply 4 times 2 is 8x, and 4 times minus 1 is minus 4. And this side, this 5 will multiply to all of them. So 5 times minus will be 5x squared. And then 5 times minus will be minus 5x. And 5 times this will be minus 10 equals 0. Now we'll try to get everything on the left side or right side, depending on where you want to take it, because there's already 5x squared here. So the best is subtract 8x and just write below that, and add 4 and just write below add 4. So that this will be 0. So I'm going to write 0 right here on the right side. This 5x squared stays. And this together will be minus 13x and minus 10. And now you use the trick that I showed. You can do it your ways also or my way, whatever. That means the trick of what I would do is because there's a 5x, so you put 5x, put a 5x, and then divide by 5. Eventually, the down 5 will cross out, and 5 times 10 is, sorry, this is minus 6 here. This is minus 6. Sorry about it. So when you multiply 5 and minus 6, you get minus 30. And the best option is to get minus 13. This will be 15, minus 15, and 2 is the better option. So I'll put minus 15 here and plus 2. So directly we can do that. And the reason I picked this is because that's the only one that gives you minus 13. And now this 5 will cross out and you get x minus 3 and 5x minus plus 2 equals 0. And now you have two answers. One is opposite of minus 3 is plus 3, and the other one is opposite of plus 2 is minus 2, and times 5, so divide by 5. So these are the answers. Question number 5, you can use the same trick that I use, that there is a 10 right here. It means it is 10 over 1, right? So you just have to use the cross product. So that's like x square will remain, and 10 times this 10 times, or you can just write one more step. If you write x plus 20 and then use the distributive property, and you get 10x plus 200. Then next is subtract 10x both sides, and also subtract 200 both sides. 200 both sides. So that way this goes away, and the right side will be 0, and you get x squared minus 10x and minus 200. Now there's a minus, so it has to be xx first of all. It has to be xx. And 200 minus 200, how do I, what, of course, you can figure out every possibility, but because of the time, I'll just think that you need to get minus 10 when you subtract, right? So, so 20 times 10 is 200, right? But you need to get minus 10, so the best option is minus 10 and plus. So this is what I'll choose. So you get minus 20 and plus 10. And the answers are 20, and the opposite of plus 10 will be minus 10 directly, and you're done. So that's all you're supposed to do. So some these are like, because there are two zeros, so I have, it makes it easier to figure out that it has to be 0, 0 or 20 and 10. Let me move to the next question. This question number 6, again, you just use the multiply this two. So that becomes 9x squared. That becomes 9x squared, and then minus 18 into x minus 9, and then down is, so x minus 9 and x squared. But the right side is 0, so it's like 0 over 1. So basically, you don't have to show this step. Actually, you're multiplying the whole thing by x minus 9 this side and x squared. And you also multiply this side x minus 9 and x squared. So this step is not needed because there is a 0, anything times 0 will be go away, or 0. So this thing will go away, and what are you left is 9x squared. And when you do this, it becomes minus 18x, and then somewhere I made, let's say, okay, before, yeah, since I already multiplied this, I will write 18 times plus, because minus and minus will become plus, and 18. I'll just keep it 18 times 9, because you can easily divide it by 9 and 9 and 9, and you end up, so this way it goes away twice. So what are you left is x squared minus x, and this is plus 18 equal to 0. Another question is, can we solve this? Before even now, can you split 18 in such a way that to get a minus 1? And you'll see it won't work out. So you may be thinking, should I do this one? B square minus 4ac. You can try, but you will get complex. The question is find all real solution only. So because if this is A and B and C, if you use the discriminant, which is the inside a radical sign, B square minus 4, if you work this out, it will become 1 square minus 4 times 1 times 18. See? So eventually you get 1 time whatever that 18 is, 480 is 76, I think. And this thing will be negative 75, which is negative, and that means there is no real solution. So you can just type it there, no real solution. If you come across, you need to type no real solution, no real solution. Or they may ask you what is the solution in complex. You may have the answer in the complex form. Right now in this one, you say, hey, there's no solution. So I hope that helps. Let's check the next book. This kind of problem you have been doing all the while, but instead of x, remember a raised to 4 is four of them, right? So that means I can write it as a square and a square. It means a square repeated twice. So this part I can write as x square raised to square. The other one stays the same, and clearly then there's x square there. This is the x square is right here, and I can keep it, replace it by some other variable p, and you get p square minus 8p plus 7. And you're back to your factorization. Remember, you put p, and this 7 you can write as 1 and 7. But then there is a plus, so either both are plus plus or both are minus minus. And because this is minus 8, better option is minus 1 and minus 7. So your answer will be minus 1 and minus 7, right? So P is opposite of minus 1 is 1, and opposite of minus 7 is 7. And then replace the x square. So P square, or whatever the P is, you replace back right here, and you get, okay, you get x squared is 1, and x squared is 7, and you can write x equals plus minus square root of 1 plus minus square root of 7. So four values will be starting from here, square root of 7 plus square root of 7, and then from here square root of 1 is 1, right? So it becomes minus 1 and plus 1, and you're done. Question 8 is there is x plus 9, right? So all I do is replace x plus 9 by p so that you get a quadratic form. So this will be p, so this will be p square, and minus 7, and this is again p, so this is like p. See, I can show you like a p, and 7p, and minus 18. And how do I split 18? So we can see you can factorize this, put p right here, and 18 best bet will be 9 and 2 is 18, and I would put minus n plus, because that way you get minus 7 there. So minus 2 and this, and you can clearly see minus 2 and plus 2 is minus 7. So, and that is there right here, right? So I can put this minus 9 right here, and this plus 2, and then use the zero product property and directly say, hey, opposite of minus 9 is plus 9, opposite of plus 2 is minus 2, and then replace x plus, what is p means, it is x plus 9. So I put x plus 9 is 9, and x plus 9 is minus 2, and solve for p, and you get the answer. See, you just have to subtract, and you get x equals 0, and you subtract 9, you get x equals minus 11. So your answers will be 0 and 11 with a comma in the box. Next. Okay, if you see this question, you have to trust what I'm going to write here. Let's write this part. We can write this as, because there is a fraction, I don't want that fraction, which is I can write it as 1/3 inside, and outside I'll put a square, correct? So if I have a raised to 2 over 3, same as a raised to 1/3, okay, and times 2, right? So, and which is same as a 1/3, and then, so that's what I'm using right there, and this equals equals 9, and instead of x plus 7, 1/3, let's replace it by another variable p. So this whole thing will become p squared equals 9, and you can see p becomes equal to plus minus square root of 9. And we don't know what is square root of 9, which is 3. So that there are two answers with plus 3 and minus 3. So I'm going to write here. At the same time, what is p? We replace it back. It means x plus 7 raised to 1/3 equals uh, equals the p plus or minus 3. See, plus or minus 3. So I'm replacing p, and then I want to cube this. So let's cube both the sides. Cube both sides. So that means, what does it mean is x plus 7 raised to 1 over 3 plus or minus 3, and you are cubing both the sides. See? So let me use a color there. So you cube both the side, and that way you can cross out this 3, and you get x plus 7 equals, and plus or minus, that means this is plus or minus 3, 3, 3 gives you 27. So you have two answers for this. So that means this will be x plus 7 is negative 27, and the other one is x plus 7 is 27, and subtract 7, and you get x equals 20, and you subtract 7 here, you get equals minus 34. And I hope that those are the two values you have to put. Question 10, what I will do is directly we can write this as x square and square, and this is 9 square equal to 0. So it is of the form a square minus b square, and we know a square minus b square is a plus b, and a minus b. Just use that. And then therefore this is a square means a is x square plus 9, and the other one is x square minus 9. And when do you think this? We can still factorize this further. You have to be careful here. So this part, which is here, x squared. So either the first one is 0. Of course, you could do this as this 9 is 3 square, and you can write again two factors, because this is going to be 3 square. So you can write x plus 3 and x minus 3. And here, this is whenever you have a square, you can remember it b square like this. You want to factorize is a plus bi and a minus bi in the complex form. Directly also you could do, but let's see what I'm saying is because I can't factor, there's a plus, I'll just write x square plus 9. And then, so we say, okay, either the first one is 0, x, or you could have, if you don't want to do this part, and there was a 9 there, right? So I just put back that 9 there. And you can see either this or you say x square minus 9 is 0. Okay, so this will be x square plus 9 is 0. So subtract 9, you get x square equals 9 minus 9, and you get x equals plus minus square root of minus 9. See, and you can't have a radical. This can be written as plus minus square root of 9 is 3, but because there's a minus, you put I. That's because square root of minus 1 is I. So anything like b positive 0, and if I have a square root of minus b, is same as writing bi. That's all it is. So let me take this off. And the second part I forgot. So this thing I'll write here, and you say, okay, x squared minus 9 is 0, add 9 both sides. And then you can plus or minus root 9, which is. So the four answers are, so you have to be writing all the answers. So one is plus 3, the other one is minus 3, plus 3i, and minus 3. I hope that helps. Because there is a fraction, this is the next question, question number 11. Because there is a fraction here, all you do is x raised to 1 over 3, let's put it like a p, right? So if it is full, okay, let me write that step, full step. This can be written as x raised to 1/3. I'll use 2/3 here and then raised to square. And this will stays the same. Okay. So that can, this time I'm putting not 2/3, but x raised to 2/3 is p. So this becomes p square minus 13p plus 40. And you can split 40. What are the options for 40? The best option I'll use is 8 and 5 is better because both minus 8 and this will give you minus 13, which is right there. See right there. So I can write this as p, and because there is minus 8, you just put it right here. And the opposite of minus 8 is 8, and opposite of 5p is 5. And now you need to do more work. So plug it in. So remember we had substituted p's. So p is x raised to 2/3, and the answer we got is 8. So I'll put it 8 right here. And the other one is 2/3 of 5. Okay. Okay, so there is a mistake here. Let me take this off. This should be 3/2. So this is 2/3, and this also is 2/3. Okay. So what I'm going to take is I'm going to take the square root both sides like this way. So what does that mean is, so this will be x raised to 1/3, and this will be square root of it, and the other one is uh, x raised to 1/3 equals square root of 5. So I hope that's a little confusing. I hope that helps. The reason to write this is now you're cubing both sides. So when you cubing both sides, x raised to 1/3 and raised to 3 equals square root of 8 raised to 3. And the other side also equals uh, 1/3. You're cubing 3 and root of 5 raised to 3. So this 3 calculated, you get root 5, root 5, root 5, 3 of them. So 2 of them will give you 5, and that's one answer. And other side, this 3 crosses out, and you get root 8, root 8, root 8. This will be 16, but root 8 itself is 2 root 2. So why? Because root 8 we can write as root 4 times 2, but and then you can separate like this. And you can write 2 root 2. And I hope that helps. So your answer is 32 root 2 right here. So there are two answers, this one and that one. And I think I matched up with the plus and minus. So when you take a square root both sides, it has to be plus and minus. So this is plus and minus. That means this is plus minus, this is plus minus. And when you cube, so the plus minus still will remain the same. So it has to be plus minus. So this will be plus minus. I'm going to write here. So when you're cubing, so there will be two answers, one with plus and the other one is minus. So here also one with plus and other one with minus. Hope this helps. The last two problems, please try on your own. I just thought of sharing this. I hope you will complete this during the break.